नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सखगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सखगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्वकारण कारणम। Hare Krishna. By the costless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, we have successfully finished 2 slokas in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. So in this chapter, Arjuna, in the very first sloka, Arjuna asked a question to Krishna. So basically in the 11th chapter in the Vishwarupa, we have already understood about Krishna's universal form very well. So that's what is called Aksharam Avyaktam. So there is unmanifested form beyond the conception of the senses. It's beyond the sense perceptions. So that's what Aksharam Avyaktam, unmanifested form. So Arjuna now is asking question to Krishna that those who worship, because I have seen you, your universal form, which is Aksharam Avyaktam, and I am also seeing you, your personal form, with your 2-armed form, Krishna, the original personality, the supreme personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. So those who worship you in your personal form are those who worship you in your impersonal feature, unmanifested form. So among them, who is the best? So that's what Arjuna is asking the question. Tesam ke yoga vittamagam. Tesam, of them. Ke, who? Yoga Vittamaga. Who is the best in yoga? Yoga Vittamaga. This is the question Arjuna is asking. It's a very important question because Arjuna is asking to Krishna. That's what is very, very important, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is answering this question. So when he says, when Krishna says, that is final. Afterwards, there is no more discussion. Whatever Krishna says for us, that is everything. Because Krishna is the ultimate. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Purushottama. So whatever Krishna says, there is the answer for us. So that's why we should just study Bhagavad Gita and understand it completely, whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So like this, many, many questions Arjuna asked. Even in the 5th chapter, 1st sloka also, which I have quoted in the past, Arjuna asked, Sanyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha samsasi. Yachreya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. So, giving up the activity or performing the activity. Sanyasam karmanam yogam, punaryogam cha samsasi. Which one is the best? You tell me. Which one is the best for me to do? Tadekam vada nischitya. Tadekam vada nischitya. Tell me only one which is best to me, best for me. Like that, here in the 12th chapter, first sloka, Arjuna is asking Krishna the question, which is the best way to worship you? To worship you in your personal feature, personal form, as a person, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, or to worship you in your unmanifested, impersonal feature. So that is your Visvesvara, Visvamurti. So that is your universal form. So which one is the best? That's what Arjuna is asking the question. So we understood very clearly when Arjuna asked such question in the 5th chapter. Krishna said that Tayostu karma sannyasad karma yogo visishyate. So even though both are leading to the same destination, both will bring the same results. Sanyasaga karma yogascha nishreyasa karavubhav. But Tayostu karma sannyasad karma yogo visishyate. Of them, compared to renouncing the activities, performing the activities without any attachment to the results. So that's what is better. That's what Krishna said that visishyate. Tayostu karma sannyasat karma yogo visishyate. Here also Arjuna is Krishna asking similar question and Krishna is answering in the same way. Mayyavesya mano yemam nitya yukta upasate sraddhayo parayo peta teme yukta tamamataga. So those who fix their mind upon me, those who focus their mind upon me, Mayyavesya mano yemam, and always engaged in worshipping me, nitya yukta upasate, with faith, endowed with transcendental faith, nitya yukta upasate sraddhaya parayopeta teme yukta tamamataga. I consider him to be the most perfect. That's what Krishna is saying. Even in the 18th chapter, first sloka, also Arjuna is asking the question, the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. So like this, very nice questions. Everywhere Arjuna is asking. So he is asking the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. So sannyasa is giving up the activities, but tyaga is giving up the results of the activities, giving up the attachment to the results of the activities. Arjuna vacha sannyasasya mahabaho tatvamichami veditum tyagasya cha rishikesho pratakesi nisudana. Tyagasya cha rishikesha pratakesi nisudana. So I want to know what is sannyasa and what is tyaga. What is the difference between these two? Sannyasasya mahabaho tattvam ichchami veditum tyagasya cha rishikesha pratakesi nisudana. So that way here Arjuna is asking very nice questions. The difference between sannyasa and tyaga, the difference between renouncing the works and performing the works, sannyasa and karma yoga. And now in the 12th chapter, the difference between worshipping him as a personal, in his personal feature, personal form, or worshipping the unmanifested impersonal feature. So that way, Arjuna is asking very, very nice questions, excellent questions, and for all of them, Krishna is giving very, very clear answers. So that way, by studying and understanding this Bhagavad Gita fully, we are completely we have the complete knowledge. We will not have any more confusion or question. There is no question or confusion for us. Everything is becoming very, very clear for us. Everything becomes extremely clear for us with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that's what Krishna's causeless mercy. This Bhagavad Gita is the purest knowledge which purifies the soul and it completely destroys the darkness of ignorance. So we will not be under darkness. We will not be under ignorance at all. We will have the complete knowledge, full knowledge. With this knowledge, we will be able to serve Krishna very well. And we will be able to experience happiness. And we will be able to free ourselves from the attachment, fear and anger. With raga bhaya krodha. Raga bhaya krodha. So if you don't have any attachment to this material world, if you don't have any attachment to this material sense objects, then there is no bhaya, no krodha, no fear and no anger. That's what Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. So that's what we are getting with this Bhagavad Gita knowledge by Krishna's causeless mercy. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we are understanding all these things very, very well. We understand the difference between everything. All the questions also we understand. Because we understand all this Bhagavad Gita very well, we know that there is no point in renouncing our activities. We can happily perform. We can happily do all our activities for Krishna. That's what is very important. We should work. We should work for Krishna. We should do everything for Krishna. We have hands, legs, voice, everything is there. We can speak, we can talk, we can walk, we can run, we can do a lot of things with our body. So let us do all such activities only for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So that is what is known as Karma Yoga. That is what is known as Bhakti Yoga. What we are studying in this 12th chapter, that is what is known as Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, Krishna is saying that you do everything for me. That's what is very important. Karma Yoga also you do for Krishna. So don't expect results means don't get attached to the results. It's not that we should not expect results, but we should not be disturbed by the results. That's what is very important. So that way we have the right to perform our duties. Karmanyeva adhikaraste, we have that right and we can do all our activities very nicely because we have the right to do. And we should not be disturbed by the results. So surrender all the results unto Krishna. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadyatma chetasa. You surrender all your works unto me. Do everything for me. That's what Krishna is saying repeatedly in Bhagavad Gita, that we should do each and every activity only as an offering unto Krishna without ourselves having any expectations other than pleasing Krishna, other than doing everything for Krishna's satisfaction. So that way, if we do all our activities, so then with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then we will be able to remember Krishna. So then we will be able to free ourselves from this material bondage because we can remember Krishna very well. So at the time of death, we can remember Krishna. Not only that, when we live, we can effectively make use of this human life. That's what is very important. Very effectively, we can make use of this human body in Krishna's service. That's what we should do. So the opportunities are there for us right now to please Krishna, to serve Krishna. We have to get this knowledge as soon as possible and understand this entire Bhagavad Gita and go and spread everywhere and make lots and lots of devotees, Krishna's devotees. So that way we can very effectively make use of this human body. That way we can achieve a lot of, like so much of things by pleasing Krishna. We can achieve Goloka. That's what we can achieve Krishna as well. That way we can achieve Krishna as well, Goloka. We can free ourselves from this material wealth. We don't have to accept another material body. We will not be forced to accept another material body if we have this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So we can simply surrender unto Krishna, knowing that Krishna is the Supreme God. Krishna is everything. Vasudevam Sarvam Iti. Vasudeva is everything. Krishna is everything. So Vasudevam Sarvam Iti. We can simply surrender unto Krishna. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Ma Prapatyate Vasudevam Sarvam Iti Samahatma Sudullabha. So that kind of opportunity we have got right now. And we are making use of it. There is no doubt. We are making progress every day. We are understanding all the slokas and we are understanding that Krishna is our Supreme Lord. So that's what is very important, very, very important that we are understanding. We are believing in Krishna. We have full faith on Krishna. So we are able to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We are able to remember Krishna. We are able to offer prasadam unto Krishna. We are able to do everything for Krishna with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that way Krishna is saying that you always think of me, become my devotee, offer your obeisances unto me, worship me, offer your obeisances unto me. So you will come to me. There is no doubt about it. Mamevesisi asamsaya. अभ्यास योग युक्तेना चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयान्. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. So you practice meditating on me, practice chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, practice remembering me. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa na anyagamina. So chetasa, your thoughts always on me. So without any other thoughts. That's what chetasa na anyagamina. If you do that, if you always remember me, if you practice remembering me, if you do everything for me, then you will come to me. Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Partha Anuchintayan. You always think about him. That's what Chintayan. So Chetasa Na Anyagamina Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Partha Anuchintayan. Chetasa Anuchintayan. So you remember me and you focus on me, you focus your thoughts on me, and then you will come to me. That's what Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati. We will reach the supreme divine personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. That's what we will go to Krishna as well. All such things simply by studying this Bhagavad Gita, that's what is going to happen to us. It is already happening. Already we are making progress. Already we are in our life. We are changing actually. We are able to feel that. Every one of us are able to definitely feel that. The day by day, when we study these slokas, when we progress more and more, we are able to feel the change within ourselves, that Krishna is the supreme God. We need to worship Krishna. We need to pray to Krishna. We need to serve Krishna. We should be connected with Krishna all the time. That's what is very important. And once we progress to that extent, once we understand this full knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we are able to preach this message to everywhere. We are able to spread this message to everywhere. Then it's very difficult for us to think about a life without remembering Krishna. It's very, very difficult. We can't even do that. Because the real happiness, the inner happiness, the ultimate happiness, unlimited happiness, everything we are able to experience from this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. By giving this knowledge, by spreading this message, by understanding, by glorifying Krishna. So that way we are very, very fortunate that we have got this opportunity. So now Krishna is continuing in the next sloka. We are going to study two slokas today. Sloka number 3 and 4 in the 12th chapter. So Krishna has already answered Arjuna that those who worship me, those who fix their mind upon me, and then those who are always engaged in my worship, that means worshipping me as a person. So I consider him to be the most perfect with faith, those who are worshipping me with transcendental faith, endowed with transcendental faith. Now Krishna is continuing in the 12th chapter, 3rd and 4th slokas. Krishna is saying that Ye tvaksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gammachintyam cha kutastam achalam dhruvam sanniyam mendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayaga te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hiterataga ye tvaksharam anirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate. So those who worship aksharam, which is beyond the senses. So that's what Arjuna himself asked. Evam satata yukta ye bhakta swam paryupasate ye chapi aksharam avyaktam. So aksharam, it is beyond the senses. Aksharam anirdeshyam, which is indefinite. Etvaksharam anirdeshyam sarvat avyaktam paryupasate. Avyaktam means unmanifested. Those who worship the unmanifested, indefinite, unmanifested, which is beyond the perception of the senses. So that's what those who worship them paryupasate. Sarvatra gam, which is all pervading, achintyam cha, which is inconceivable. So sarvatra gam achintyam cha, kutastam, which is not changing, unchanging. Achalam, it's not moving, immovable. Kutastam achalam dhruvam. Dhruvam means it is fixed. So when we actually worship the impersonal feature of Krishna, unmanifested feature of Krishna. So it's all these are the properties Krishna is explaining to us here. Those who worship which is beyond the perception of the senses, indefinite, unmanifested, and all pervading and inconceivable, unchanging and immovable, fixed. Sanyamyendriya Gramam, those who are by controlling their senses, those who worship this impersonal feature of mind. Sanyamyendriya Gramam Sarvatra Samabuddhega, who are equally disposed, who are equipoised everywhere, so equally disposed everywhere. So Sarvatra Sanyamyendriya Gramam Sarvatra Samabuddhega Te Prapnuvanti Mameva. They will also reach me. They will also come to me. Te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hiteratha. Sarvabhuta hiteratha. So being equal to those who are engaged in the welfare of all living entities. That's what sarvabhuta hiteratha. Many times Krishna says this word sarvabhuta hiteratha. Even for us, even for devotees who are worshipping Krishna as a person. So we have to simply worship Krishna, means we don't have any attachments to anything in this material world. So that means we have to act, but we are acting for Krishna means we are acting for the benefit of everyone. So that's what we are acting for Krishna. That is the real service to Krishna. When we don't have any attachment to anything in this material world, we really don't care about anything because all our needs are completely taken care by Krishna. So we don't have to worry about anything. But we have to worry about others. We have to help others. So that's what Sarvatra Sarvabhuta Hiterataga. That's what Krishna is saying. So, but those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. Te prapnuvanti mameva. They will also come to me. That's what Krishna is saying. But Krishna is not recommending us to follow this path. We need to be very clear. That way we need to be very clear. We cannot simply say that, oh, Krishna is already saying that te prapnuvanti mameva. So then why can't I follow this? We have to wait till tomorrow to really understand why we should not follow this. Like even in the 5th chapter also, when Arjuna asked the question about the sannyasa and karma yoga, so Krishna said that sannyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptuma yogataha. So you will end up with distress, dukkham. But the soul wants to be happy, enjoy. So why we need to take a very rough path, very difficult path, when there is an easy way to go to Krishna, very quick way to Krishna? Nachirena adhikachati. Yoga yukto munir brahma, nachirena adhikachati. When you are just engaged in this yoga, when you perform devotional service unto Krishna, very quickly you can come to me. That's what Krishna is saying there. So why we have to struggle so hard to go in the difficult path? So that is what is very important. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished 2 slokas today. Sloka number 3 and 4 in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. I will stop now and we will discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.